I think you'll understand why I'm running back. Oh, let's see if I can make this happen. I don't have much time left.
Arizona, or more specifically, Page, was the destination for the series and trip. Somewhere that I've always wanted to take photos, but little did I know my very first night there, I would take one of my favorite photos that I have ever taken. I flew in from the East Coast and met up with my parents who decided to join me for this journey. They drove all the way in from the East Coast just for ease logistically of traveling with a rather temperamental dog. Nice to be able to do those things while we were retired. If you're not familiar with Page, it's way up on the northern side of the state, upstream of the Grand Canyon along the Colorado River. The contentious Glen Canyon Dam within Page holds back the waters from the river, forming Lake Powell, which borders it on the north side. To the southeast, you have the Navajo Nation. Up to the north, you have Escalante National Monument, and then further over to the west, you have Vermilion Cliffs National Monument. This is right along the Utah border, so going back and forth between there and Arizona, you're in one space that observes daylight savings time and another that doesn't, so a little confusing logistically, but we made it work fine. After getting into town, everybody got a quick nap in, and then we went to one of my bucket list shooting spots that I absolutely had to take pictures at, Horseshoe Bend. First, though, a quick stop over the Glen Canyon Dam just to see it.
Now, I was hoping you'd be able to get a nice picture of the dam over here, but oh, here we go. Actually, they were nice enough to cut little portholes in the side here. Let's just stitch a few together. I have the 16x35 on. That should work. All right, so counting off these foam poles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 of them in total. In order to be in the middle of the dam, we want to be between 3 and 4.
Despite my brilliant counting and finding the middle of the bridge, there were no more gaps in the fence, so no clear areas to shoot.
View down the river is also pretty grand, but again, more fence. Too bad. Cross again, go back to where we had those gaps in the fence and get some images there.
Back over at the gap, I took a quick shot of the 710-foot tall megastructure, and then we continued on our way over to Horseshoe Bend. You do have to pay a little bit to park over there, but still, I was pleasantly surprised with how nice the infrastructure was. They had little resting spots if it got too hot out. We were in the middle of a heat wave. It was March and in the 90s. I shudder to think what summer would be like.
Well, we made it to Arizona. Right now, we're at one of the bucket list photographer locations. Have a look. It's actually proving to be a little bit difficult to work with just because you don't want to disrupt everybody around here while you're taking photos. There's only so many locations that are like the spot, and they have the fencing pretty perfectly lined up with where you want to be. There's other spots a little bit further to the sides, people clamoring around, but as I'm sure you can imagine, you only have so much room left or right with where the water looks perfect. Even at 16 millimeters, it's hard to capture everything, so I'm gonna switch out to a 14 millimeter lens. It's gonna be manual, and I'll grab a couple of photos like that and just try not to be too much of a pain to the people around here. All right, so I'm abandoning my bag for a little bit and just taking my tripod and going for a little walk over here. 14 millimeters is definitely the way to go. I felt like the 16 was just a little bit too tight, so I did a little bit of bracketing a few seconds ago with the tripod over at the corner right against the fence. And I think that was really the spot, but I just want to check along the side here, see if there's anything else, but need to be mindful of the little ones as we're doing so. Well, this is perfectly fine over here as well. You know what I'm thinking, actually? Over at that ridge line over there, there's not as many people. It might be just a decent spot to just sit down with the lawn chairs and enjoy the view with my folks.
So that was exactly what we did. Lawn chairs were set up, had a quick check-in with the dog. Pete, are you gonna make it? She was fine, just tired from the day's events. Gave her a quick pet for good luck, and then I set up to take some photos.
So a little bit up further to the right, I'll show you what I like about how this whole scene works out. So we're working with the 14 millimeter lens, and what we're able to work with, you're able to see just a little bit of that cliff wall coming in along the bottom edge and these nice reflections of the other side of the valley on the far side. I'm working with a couple of these. I'm gonna try stacking them together, and we'll try and make sure that the exposure is just right on this. It is a manual focus lens, so a little bit more effort on my part, but I think the results will end up being pretty nice.
Some good fortune for me after I got set up, a boat passed right along down at the bottom of the river, and I was able to capture it.
It's so strange being here and taking these photos. Just, you know, I've wanted to take pictures of the scene for such a long time. And, you know, I don't know that it's exactly the way I envisioned it. Probably as I first started thinking about coming out here and taking photos, it was well before the time of Instagram and Facebook, and now this is a popular destination. It definitely changes things, but it's nice to see other people out here enjoying it too. It's marvelous. It's great to be here. You know, I've done a number of these. This is the first trip I've done with my parents. After doing trips out to Canyonlands and Monument Valley and Death Valley, Joshua Tree, my dad said in the last year, you know, I haven't really been out west. Maybe one of these times we can end up doing a trip together. And that's this trip. Page is a bucket list item, so here we are. Yeah, that sun's just about entirely lost. Now, freehand certainly was that was an okay time to end up doing that.
It seemed like the sun was lost behind the clouds for the rest of the evening. However, it crept out just one last time. A little less lens flaring in this one. This is an HDR composite with the 16 by 35mm lens at f8. Even so, this wasn't my favorite picture of the evening.
So definitely stunning and beautiful through here. It's time for us to get back and start making food. I think I just love everything about the Colorado River. These grand views are just reminding me so much of Canyonlands being through here. I mean, a lot more people, but it's a lot more accessible, which is nice. Yeah, great place to see.
One last okay photo over by the railing, and I thought I was calling it a night, but I kept on looking over back towards the horizon.
All right. Some nice color on the horizon, but that's just about one sunset. This is a photo that's been taken a bajillion times, just into night. Overall, though, that was a little bit difficult to work with. I mean, it's just mostly the one scene. I feel like I probably got maybe 3 meaningfully different photos of Horseshoe Bend, but as far as anything else of interest, I didn't really find any exposures I was really interested in. Still, plenty of trip left. No sun, but isn't this just how it goes? All right, the dog wants to keep moving. I think you'll understand why I'm running back. I told my folks I'd just meet them back in the car. Oh, let's see if I can make this happen. I don't have much time left. I think that was probably worth the run back. I told my folks to just go ahead and just keep on going back to the car. I was gonna run down and get a few more images. Definitely gonna have to stitch a few of those together. The exposure, there's just too much contrast between the base of the horseshoe and then those clouds that were just brilliantly erupting. But yeah, I think I would have been kicking myself for the rest of my life if I didn't run back down, so I'm glad I did it.
And so that was my experience over at Horseshoe Bend. I'm certain a lot of other people have images similar to that one I took in their portfolio, but still, I look at it and I truthfully couldn't want anything more from that image. It has so many attributes that I'm just really happy with, and it's a special and unique feeling to be content. Thanks so much for joining. If you liked the video and you have a friend that you think might also enjoy it, feel free to pass it along to them. Next time we're going to be over at Antelope Canyon, which I couldn't really record too much video at, But I'm going to tell you a bit about my experience and then hopefully give you a few pointers if you happen to make it out there yourself. Until then, thanks so much for joining and take care. I'll see you around. Bye. Oh, I love coffee. It's still good. It's still good. Every sip. Bring me joy.